Right, very good morning and welcome to Katran TV. I'm here with Stu and where are we, Stu? We're on the
SNR, aren't we, on
the retreat.
Retreat.
So on the retreat. So neither of us have fished it before, and we'll try and keep this brief. This is the first morning. We've got 48 hours ahead of us, and looking out in the lake, it seems to me that this side of the lake is pretty much 12 foot deep everywhere, except for the margins, and the margins are real steep, aren't they?
Yeah, mine comes from like, is it 12, 13 foot straight up to 7 on this side.
I'm fishing to the left, out to the back margin, and basically it's all 12 foot, it comes up really, really steep. And then I've got a 3.5 foot plateau, 3.5 foot sort of at the top of the margin, 3.5, 4 foot, where I'm going to position my baits. I mean, it's worth saying we've got, as you can probably tell, we've got bright sunshine, haven't we?
Yeah, it's lovely.
So we fully expect those fish not to be down in the deep water, and we will see how it all pans out. So we're going to attack the margins, basically. That's the long and short of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it don't work out and I've not got a bite, and none of us have had a bite, I will fish one down the shelf.
I'm going to leave my 3 on the day and I'm going to drop mine down at night. Leave one on the shelf and I'll probably put the 2 in the deep for the night time and then move them back up there on the top of the shelf in the morning.
Sounds like a plan. Well, if I get itchy feet, it's happening before.
I've got to try and nick a bite this week.
Listen, we'll catch up with you in a bit, talk about bait, talk about rigs, talk about all that kind of thing. For now, we're going to concentrate on getting everything right and trying to nick a bite at the lovely retreat at SNR Fisheries. So we'll catch you in a bit. Right guys, well it's update time and we are now knocking on the door of 1:30, are we?
Yep.
Yeah, so we've just seen the first fish actually, so that's given us something to go on. I fully expected to have had a bite by now, didn't you?
A little inquiry earlier on today, didn't I?
You did. We're not...
We've just seen the fish now.
Yeah.
So
I've quickly buzzed a rod in and put one on the fish that we've just seen show. I mean, that was kind of halfway between me and Stu, to be fair, wasn't it? Yeah. But I was quick on my toes to get the rod on it.
He was on it.
So we are just plugging away at the moment. One thing I will say is the wind is really, really cold that's hacking up here, which could be putting the fish off getting into the shallower water. I don't know. I think they've got to feed at some point, today. And with the way we've got our rods positioned in various depths now,
I'm pretty confident we're going to get a bite.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually changed one rod, so now I've got one fishing actually on the shelf with a flat lead, flat sort of gripper style lead, which is in about 8 foot of water. Bearing in mind it's 12 foot deep. So I've got rods at 8 foot, 4 foot. Yours are in 7 foot.
All mine are kind of 6, 7 foot.
7 foot. And the rod that I've just put out is in about 7.5 foot, the one that I put over the show, as I say, down the shelf. So we are plugging away and we are trying, aren't we?
Yeah, the wind's a bit cold, isn't it? But it's nice and sunny on the far margin as well, isn't it? So
yeah, that's it. So nothing to report as of yet, except for one show. We will hopefully check in with you with a carp in the not too distant future, but we'll keep you posted, guys. It's happened. Actually moved a rod right up the shelf. We saw a fish show. It was only in 3 foot of water. I actually moved all 3 rods, and the second rod went with a lovely 21-pound retreat mirror. There we go. He's going to behave for us. And there we go. How are we looking? Good. So we're off the mark. And the fish have been down the other end of the lake, which is why we've not been catching them. The lad down the bottom's been catching them. Saw one show as they started to move up, and then sure enough, we got the bite. So I think it's all to play for now. Gonna deal with him quick, give him a bit of clinic, and get him back.
But after a missed opportunity this morning, I decided to change it round and put a standard spicy chorizo bottom bait on, and it's gone off. And the paddle on this one, 24-12. Just on a standard bottom bait at the bag. It's made my evening.
Come back, you did.
It's a small world after all.
I've never heard that, I sort of joined in. Right, good morning everybody. Stu's just singing me a song, hence the reason I'm smiling. But as you saw, we did nick a couple, didn't we?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. The fish were down that end of the lake basically up until yesterday, and they started showing. You could see that they were moving up the lake. I quickly redid a rod and put it dead shallow, in sort of like just under 3.5 foot. It was actually right tight to the back margin.
I was quite surprised that went to be. I thought it was too shallow. But
yeah, I mean, you know,
it just goes to show you, doesn't it?
It does this time of year when the water's still cold and the sun comes up. The shallow areas, I mean, you've heard it all before, I'm sure, you know, but they are creatures of habit, and they do like the warmer water. So when you've got a predominantly semi-deep lake, which is all 12-13 foot, with areas of the lake that you can present a bait that in shallow water, that's where they're going to be, which certainly proved the point. Although yours came in 7 foot, didn't it, Stu? But that's still enough. Do you know what I mean? That's still enough. As opposed to 12-13 foot, that's enough, you know.
I mean, I've got 2 in 12-13 foot for last night.
Yeah.
Which will get repositioned as soon as we finish doing this.
Yeah, it's a good shout, mate. You know what I mean? So they might have dropped down a feet.
They're going back on the shelf. They're going back on the shelf this afternoon.
Yeah. So without rambling on too much, we are going to crack on today. Hope that sun stays. Well, hope the wind, the easterly wind that we had yesterday, did not help us. And I think that's why the fish backed off, and the lad in the peg next door was picking him off. The fish just weren't up here until that wind died down. You know what I mean? And they sort of they made their way up. We're hoping that stays the same. If it does, we should catch a few, or at least one if we're super lucky.
I think there's a good chance for a couple of bites this afternoon.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Everything's settled down now, isn't it?
It has.
Best part of the session now.
Definitely. Still need to talk about bait, which we'll do in a little bit, and what we've had the captures on and all the rest of it. But for now, we are going to grab a cup of. I'm not going to have coffee because I'm on it.
I am.
Yeah, so you can have coffee. I'll have one of my hippie teas, whatever they are.
Dishwater.
Yeah, one of my dishwater teas, and we will catch up with you in a bit. Right, guys, so my 3 rods, You can see that's the back margin there. There's a feeding pole there that everybody can see. But what I've basically done is it sort of cuts in a little bit from the hard left, and then the back margin I have fished. I've basically put one at the far right, one in the middle and one at the left, and then on the assumption that whichever rod did the bites, I could maybe stagger a rod over and home in on a spot. The rod that did the bite was the middle rod, but I have seen fish hard right, so I'm not going to bring the rod in from the right to the middle. So just going to suck it and see for the day, see what happens, see what the fish tell us to do, and fingers crossed we can nick one. Right, well, I've just seen a fish show. This rod I'm about to move is at 21 wraps drilled at cast, tight into the far margin underneath the bushes. But I've just seen a fish show and feed at about, I mean, I'm going to guess it, I'm going to buzz in now, clip it up with where I think the fish is and get it straight out onto it, and hope it works. She's still alive, that tooty pillow as well. And this is where you hope you've guessed right. We'll see. That wasn't a million miles away. That was not a million miles away. Probably overcast it a little bit. I did wallop the clip a bit high in the air, but fingers crossed it goes off. If it does, you'll be the first to know. Right guys, well, I'm going to talk to you about bait, and I've got to be honest with you, it's the first time, so I'm on a new lake that I've never fished before, and I'm actually using a bait that I've not used. So I'm using Elevate baits, and they do a couple in the range, the main boilie, which is the spicy chorizo and the maple and mulberry. Now, when I started, I fished both with crumb. So they do them in the bags, already chopped up for you, using the crumb, the pellet, and the matching liquid. So I used, as I say, I did try it on both. You know, I split the baits on both across the rods. The bite came on the maple and mulberry crush with added pellet and a tooty pillow. Needless to say, now they're all on the same. So I've put everything on the same, you know, on the same baiting approach. And all I've been doing is putting my crumb into a bucket, and every so often, pellet's actually up there, so I'll spare you the pellet. I'm just going to top the crumb up, and then every so often, and these are nice actually because they squirt it, you know, it's got a nice, it squirts out lovely, nice and evenly. Then every so often, I'm just topping up with the matching liquid. If you can see that, mixing it up. You probably can't see it, we'll pan in a little bit. Mixing it up until it's sort of a little bit claggy, but not too claggy, if you know what I mean. So it's still going to spread a little bit, but I'm going to get hook baits, you know, I'm going to get some feed around the hook bait. And as I say, that's what's done the bite on the old tooty. It was they come in 12 and 10 mils. 12 mil tooty, tiny little bit of putty on a revolver rig, which if anybody's got nothing better to do than watch the features that I do, you'll see that that's a rig I use almost exclusively now, where I can, because it's quite a stiff boom. And yeah, balance is lovely, really good hook holds. So I've not actually ever dropped a fish on that rig, so that's what we're doing. Stu, he is doing something similar, only he went more down the chorizo road, and his bite, as he mentioned earlier, actually came on a bottom bait straight out the bag, over basically the same thing with he actually used the throwing stick to get some baits out as well. So that's it. I'm all about asking the lake a few questions, and we've asked plenty of questions. As soon as I get an answer, I run with it. Do you know what I mean? So as I say, all 3 rods now are on the maple and mulberry crush, tutti frutti over the top, keeping the mix dosed up with the liquid, and let's see how we get on. Well, we've bagged another one. This is not the biggest carp in the world, but my God, he is an absolute perler. Both sides of him are absolutely to die for. Check him out. 14.5 pound of Retreat Lake gold. That is absolute gold. We will get his other side, because his other side is just as stunning. Let's spin him round. Oh. Wow. I mean, I know Lee handpicks his fish. A lot of them are reared here. I don't know where this one's come from, but that is special. Look at the head, look at the shoulders on him. He's going to be a scaly brute. Krypton Elevate on the reels, as standard for me now. You know, the old revolver rigs with the Phantom and the Enduro, and again a tutti pillow over the maple and mulberry crush. So it's really nice to catch a couple on a new bait. So I'm going to get him back now, and we'll check in with you in a bit. Well, good evening guys. It is now the last night. We're just coming into the last night, and we, Stu?
Yep.
What are you thinking?
I just want one more, then it goes down to weight.
Yeah, so it's 2 for me, 1 for Stu at the moment, and I am confident. I think we're going to get another bite. Do you?
I think mine will go, are they?
You think?
Yeah, I think it might.
Stu's just had
mine's bite time now, isn't it?
Yeah, Stu has just had fish like topping straight over the spot, haven't you? So we might even get a tape when we're talking to you, but just to give you a brief rundown, the fishing's been patchy, but we've picked them up. Let's say 3 fish between us. This wind has been Baltic, mine, hasn't it?
Freezing today. It's really cold.
Yeah. We've used a combination of the boat and casting, where, you know, wherever we think it's appropriate, and basically worked the swim without feeding too much. I think it's something to bear in mind this time of year. You can't, it's an old saying, you know, but you cannot take it out once you put it in, and they're not really waking up. I mean, the fish that are coming around the complex, they've still got leeches on their belly, that kind of thing, so yeah, they're just waking up, and they
but there's been a bit of activity in the last half an hour on that far bank, hasn't there?
Yeah, so there is a chance. Fingers crossed we can make something happen. It'd be lovely to catch another one. If we don't though, I'm pretty if we don't though, I think we've done well to nick them, because they haven't been up here in numbers, but when they have turned up, we've nicked a bite, so which is all you can do, isn't it, Stu?
Can't try anymore.
Yeah,
I've tried it on the bottom of the shelf, on the top, right up tight to the bank.
Yeah,
pop-ups. and straight out the bag.
Yeah.
Which worked.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, no, it's got a good bit of angling, that, to be honest with you. I think we'll just talk you through the hardware quick, because we haven't really done a lot of that, and it is Katran TV, so we're both on Krypton Elevate.
Yeah.
And personally, I'll use it in so many different scenarios, because I can hit it a long way, I can fish it close range. I think it's nice. The weight of the tapered end actually is something to bear in mind, guys. So all the tapered section, which is about 12 metres.
You don't need as much tubing.
No, that's true. It sinks like an absolute stone. So that bit behind the lead, the all important bit, is always going to be on the bottom, you know. So, and rig wise for me, the revolver rigs, and for you,
I've got 3 revolvers.
on the revolvers, yeah. So yeah, we're creatures of habit, I think it's fair to say.
That's all you've tied me.
So look, we'll check in with you in the morning and let you know. I mean, if we do get one tonight, or the early hours, we won't sack it up if it's tonight. We'll get the spotlights out and get it dealt with. If it's kind of like, you know, early doors, we'll sack it up until first light and get it done.
I'll be away early anyway.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we will check in again in the morning regardless, and I'll let you know how it's all panned out tonight. So we'll catch up with you in a bit. Well, guys, you would not believe it, but literally, I don't know, it must have been about 30 seconds after me and Stu last checked in with you, the middle rod was away, and it was actually a lovely fully scaled, pretty much fully scaled 23, I think it was 23 pound mirror. But they really do hang on here at Mim's Retreat, and this particular fish gave me a right run around, and unfortunately we for whatever reason the camera was not rolling when we filmed picking him up, so we did manage to get a few snaps, and as you can see, he's a Brahma. It's a real shame we didn't get the original footage, but yeah, as you can see, just another quality mirror carp, courtesy of Mim's Retreat, and I've got to tell you, that was the end of the action. The following night, well, that night, the mist came in. You know, we stood out by the rods watching the water till really late, well into dark, to try and see if there was any opportunities, but I don't know, big temperature drop, and I don't know about you, but I've never really done any good when the mist rolls in, and believe you me, the mist did roll in. It was like pea soup in the morning, absolutely, you know, everything was dripping wet. You couldn't see much, you know, further than a couple of rod lengths out in front of you. But all in all, a lovely stay, and I'd encourage anybody to play the complex a visit. All the lakes have got something good to offer at SNR, and we hope to catch you on the next one.